Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Spectacle Island. Another busy day lined up today, as we seem to every day. And we're going to jump straight into it. We've got some animals, all need feeding, cleaning, watering. Having bought a whole lot last time, we need to catch up on that. We've also got the field we harvested last time, which had the sunflowers in it, which needs cultivating and planting. Now our other fields are all growing, they're all fertilized, so not much to do there. But let me introduce you to Tedium. Now, Tedium, or Ted, is here to help us this week. And he sent me a message, said, "Hey Argsy, I'd love to swing by and help out on the farm. Pretty handy with the grain cart trailer, have a bit of experience with ploughing and cultivating, and I love working with sheep. Let me know if you need a hand. All the best, Ted." So, Ted, welcome along. Nice to have you here. We will certainly be doing some work with the sheep, but I think just the way things are set up, I reckon we might get you into a tractor doing some cultivating first. Go and get that sunflower field all turned over, ready for some seeding. So, and that will leave me take care of the animals, because it's a little bit of a hard job to get a worker to do, to be perfectly honest. So, we'll get Ted set up doing that, and then we'll get started on everything we need to do for the animals. If I just actually, while we're sitting here talking, let's just have a look here. 32 litres of food left for the chickens. Sheep are getting very low, they need to clean, they need water. The pigs, they're red and orange on everything. So we've still got good productivity. We're making more manure and slurry, which is fantastic, but we are going to have to spend a bit of time getting some feed put in there. So fortunately, we've got the truck we can use, because that will move food around a lot faster. So we'll get Ted set up, off down cultivating, and we will come back and start taking care of the animals. Here we are down at the field cultivator on the back of the Deutz. Now I do need to paint a couple of field entrances into this, like we have for the field on the other side. Like we haven't done as of now, or as of yet, but let's just back here into the corner. Get this lowered down, right forward a few meters, making sure everything's working fine. There we go. So let's quickly jump in here and set up a course for this and send Ted on his way. There we go, he is off, getting a nice little seed bed prepared there. Now just quickly jump into the map, take a look at this field. You will see that we have got an application of fertilizer on the field already. Now that was because of the straw for harvesters mod that we used in the last episode. Using the chaff that came out of the back of the harvester from the sunflowers, basically applies an organic layer of fertilizer, putting all of that chopped material back into the soil to decompose and add to the nutrients that are in the soil. So what it means is, fortunately, when we come to plant and we put fertilizer in with the planter or seeder, depending on what crop we put in, then we won't have to do any more fertilizing afterwards, which is nice. So with him underway, let's go and make a start on the animals. We might actually head over here to the chickens first. We'll go and get to the wheelbarrow and pick up all this food, because there's a pretty big pile of spilt food there, and while they're meant to have 32 litres, I can't actually see any in their trough. So let's get them all cleaned up, and we'll start working with the rest of them. We've got a nifty little shovel that comes off the front, and we can get that all picked up. We should just be able to come over here, the tip animation going, and get that food tipped in there. So this is quite a neat way to use the wheelbarrow and get everything tidied up, otherwise we wouldn't really have had a use for it. We are going to have to get some more food out of the silos though, and we don't actually have much wheat or anything left that the chickens will use, but fortunately we've got all that barley planted, and that was the reason for doing that, as chicken feed, and also because the pigs can use it, so dual purpose. Alright, there we go, last little piece, and all done there. So we'll just take a quick look once we've got this tipped in, see how much more food we need. That was about 1,000 litres sitting on the ground there. Cleanliness will come up in time once it's done a little refresh, and other than that, we are going to need quite a few more litres of food for them. So we'll go and sort all that out. Alright, so we've got the bucket here on the front of the loader. Get in here under the grain arm. See, we've got just under 2,000 litres of wheat. You just flick through everything else. 20,000 litres of sunflowers, 24,000 litres of corn back to the wheat. So we'll get that all put in there because we know the chicken's going to take it all. It does mean we are now out of food for them, but fortunately, like I said, barley is getting close to mature and will be harvested soon, and that will top us up there. So if we just come around the corner and get in here, also being a high tip, we can just put the bucket up there and get that all tipped in for the chickens. So if we just take another look at the animals, we haven't even got close to halfway. That's only maybe a quarter full, so we're going to need about 10,000 litres to be able to feed 160 chickens. And look at our reproduction rate there. We're reproducing an animal every hour and 15 minutes. So we are going to need even more and more food as time ticks by. But that's part of the reason for having the animals. Good. Right, they're all taken care of. There's nothing more we can do for them. We'll just carefully navigate our way over here. I know I had a couple of comments about running animals over. I do try and avoid them. Sometimes they decide they want to walk through me, which is a little bit unavoidable. We'll just drive along here and get this grass picked up. While it makes a mess, there's not much there, only 111 litres. Get that tipped out there, and then we'll head over to the sheep area and clean up their food. I just called them sheep. Head over to the pigs, clean up the pig food. We just did the sheep. See, we're going to get that one who's going to walk straight through us. And that one there who's going to walk straight through us. They're a law unto themselves. Pigs, I will try and, like I said, I will try and avoid them when I can, but not always possible. Alright, that should be everything cleaned up now. So next step, we will have to get some more straw. So we'll have to put the forks on the front of this and bring some of those straw bales over. And then we need to get the rest of the food for the pigs, and I guess we get to get some more grass for the sheep as well. We'll go over and change over onto the bale forks, bale spike. We've got the straw in here, it is in behind the truck. Jump in here, great little animation on the door there. You hop in, opening and close. And of course, that lovely engine startup. Such a great little touch, some of these mods that have those kind of features in them. So seeing we're in this, while we've got the engine running there, which isn't ideal, let's pop over here. We'll load up with corn and sunflowers and go and give that to the pigs. See how much food they take. We could take them a load of each over. Here we are, 6,500 litres of sunflowers. So once we've got this tipped out, we'll see how much that has filled it up. I'm not even sure if it's going to get halfway. I know they took a lot of corn when we did deliver that over when we were harvesting. So let's just hop into the menu again and have another look. So the third bar down, 15,000 litres in there now. Soybeans, canola or sunflowers. That's not too bad. Obviously we want the corn in there because that is one of the better effectiveness. See down the bottom, 50% for corn. Potatoes, not so important. We do have some though that we can bring over. And we're all out of wheat or barley. So we'll just have to make do with what they've got. And there we are, a truckload of corn getting dumped in here as well. One thing to bear in mind, we are on non-seasons, so the food, once 100% full, would last for 10 days. Well, that's 10 in-game days, of course. So, not going to run out of food. Even if we're only half full, that's still 5 days in-game, so plenty of time to get the fields planted and harvested again and make sure we've got the right quota. Now you'll probably all think I'm crazy. I am considering, once we have enough money for the equipment, doing some sugar beets, getting the sugar beet production factory and producing some of the beet food that is very good for them as well. So that is something that we'll look at doing sometime soon. Alright, we'll go and grab some straw bales and we might hook up to the water trailer there, take that over at the same time. Alright, I'm not sure how much straw they are going to want to take, but we're just going to push this first straw bale in, hopefully into the trigger. We've already used a little of. Here we go. Then we'll just put these down until they are 100% full. be all done. So it didn't take actually many of them. I'm assuming the bottom ones probably only going to be partly used. In fact, we probably only need to bring one over looking at that. But we'll pick these up and put them back over here by the shed. They can stay here, so they're easy to bring over next time. Our trailer was getting a little bit caught up there. Of course, having them there means whatever we bring over, we can always push them into the trigger. Alright, it's the pigs bedded, cleaned, fed. Just need to give them a little bit of water here now. Try and get through there without skewering one of the animals. Here we are, we can dead that out, and that has given us, look at the pigs, almost full water, so that will be more than enough. Just having a look here, corn almost half full, and soybeans are almost half full, so I think we should probably go and get some potatoes as well. Got the water filled up again, just run along here and give sheep some more water. Take a quick look once we've filled that up. So there we go, their water, not quite full, but very close to, but of course they do need some more food, so we've got all those little grass bales over there still. Put some of those on the forks and bring them over to get that all topped up. Now, I did change my mind about the potatoes. I was driving over here and thinking about it. The cedar is in the way, so we won't bother pulling that out. At the moment, we are going to need it soon, but we won't worry. Right at this second, here we go, water's topped up again. Let's come in here, and we'll manhandle some of these smaller bales. A little bit closer, in fact. Throw something up in here onto the forks. Alright, hopefully those will all sit on there until we get over to the sheep pasture. Not actually sure how many litres we've got total. The forks aren't displaying it for us because we haven't got a prong through each and every bale. But looking, I think we had about 2,000 litres in there, and I reckon they needed at least 10, so we'll take a look once we get over here. They're going to take them all? Like they are. Let's have a look at how much that is. Very hard to read, but I think that is 8,500 or so litres, and still not quite full. We did top the water trailer up, so we'll just swing around here and get a little bit more water into the trough. Make sure that is 100% full. There it is, and we might as well take this last 300 litres over and put it into the pig water trough. Well, I figured with them not quite being full, there's only 4 bales left here. Might as well take them all over, get them out of the shed, and into the feed trough. We don't need to put anything other than the sheep, so this will obviously clear out the shed a little bit, and we will have to make plans sometime in the not too distant future to having a grass field again, or some hay, or some other way to get some grass. Maybe we need to cut down some more trees and clear another field. But we'll get these taken over, and that will be just about all the animals taken care of, I think. Alright, and there we are. The sheep's food is now into the green. Still not full though. Chickens, nice and 100% clean, 100% productive. Only about a third of food though. And then we look at the pigs. They're clean, watered, and have the straw they need. And they've got the food they need as well. Obviously good to get that barley in. There you can see the beet pulp, or the superfood, which is what we can make with the sugar beets. So, let's move on from there. We'll head back down to the sheds. I've got a few more little tasks to do, a few more little housekeeping maintenance things to do, and then we'll go check on how Ted's going with the cultivating. Of course, we couldn't leave out the last animal, Dogsy. Need to make sure he is well fed. Where are you, Dogsy? Dogsy? Yeah, Dogsy. I saw you running around just before. You inside? Ah, there you are. You right there? You alright, mate? Dogsy? Oh, there we go. He's playing around with us. Still likes a good scratch, though. Alright, he's happy enough. Well, seems happy enough, at least. Now, the other task we did want to do is we need to get some more seed prepared. We don't actually have any in here, I don't think. No, we've got 499 litres, but we need to put some more in. So we'll go and grab 1,000 litres or so out of one of the silos and get that tipped into the seed maker. There we go, couldn't quite get exactly 1,000, ended up with 1,200. We just tipped this slowly. Be able to stop it around the 246 mark. Make sure, there we are, caught it just in time. That is all up and running again. I think if we just turn that off, leave it there. Have a look in here. It's all good, 100% on the 2 inputs, and we'll get some more seed coming out. It'll be perfect for making a start on some planting soon. We'll head down to the other field, see how Ted is going. We might ride along with him just for a little bit while he's carrying on with the cultivating. So we've joined Ted over here in the field. He's made some pretty good progress. He's made it around his headlands. Now on his, well and truly on his up and down roads. Looks like he's knocked a little bit out already. Now I've set this going on a different work mode, one I've used once before. It was on West Australia and using the combines, which didn't actually work out how I expected it to. But this is a technique I used to use a lot when we were driving tractors. It's called racetrack mode in Courseplay. So basically you open up the field and work your way across, kind of in lands, but instead of working from the middle out, you work across and will eventually knock out that little sliver on the right as you've worked across here on the left, and then start that all over again. So it's quite an effective way to minimise tight turning at the end. It does probably lead to a little bit more compaction around the headlands. Of course, if you did the headlands last, that wouldn't be a problem, but we've done them first. You'll see he'll get turned around here and head back down this left hand side of this last little piece here. Must be 2 passes left, I'd expect. So I think while Ted is doing this, let's ride along with him for a little bit, and we'll just grab a little time lapse while he's working. Ted's making some pretty good progress through the field there, not too much left to go. Be sure, having watched that for a little bit, you'll have a very good idea on how the racetrack mode on Horseplay works now. So give it a try. It is quite an interesting little technique. We're just going to leave him here to finish off. There's going to be a few spots I think we're going to have to come back and just tidy up when he's done, some of the corners, and like this end of this row up here, he didn't quite keep the cultivator down for long enough. That's alright, we can come and fix those. But we're going to head back down to the yard and a few more things that we need to get done down there. First things first, I'm just going to jump into the loader here. These last a little bit of corn tipped into the seed maker. It's cranking along pretty well. Not far away from, well, I think it's actually got enough in there to have 1,000 litres. Enough for a first bag of seed, which is good. And then just need to give a little bit of thought about what it is we're going to plant next. I was thinking soybeans, something we can try and make a decent amount of profit off, because at the moment we're using a lot of our crops to go into animal food. So our main source of income will be selling animal products and the like. And in fact, we should probably keep an eye, make sure we're keeping an eye on the pigs, and if they are getting fattened up, we should be selling them off. If we just come up here and hop into this, see our outputs, well, we're just short of 1,000 litres. I thought we might have been there by now, but we'll be able to pop back soon and get that one out. But if we're going to plant soybeans, I'm assuming we use the planter or the seeder. Obviously both can plant soybeans, but I think the planter will be the better option because it's a little bit wider. They'll both set up to put fertilizer and everything like that on. But what I might do, we might use the fent just to pull this out, get it all set up to go onto the doits once it's finished doing what Ted is doing at the moment, and can come over here and take over. Got the planter out here. Good thing we're not driving it in the fent, because it's not going to go very far. Not only do we not have the horsepower requirements, but it looks like even with only a third of the fertilizer and sunflowers in it, or seed in it at least, it's going to be too heavy for this tractor. We'll just get this disconnected. Now I'd have just made a realization, we don't have any fertilizer here, any dry fertilizer. It's got the liquid fertilizer that's going there into the seed mixer, but no dry fertilizer at all. So we might jump into the truck, go for a little bit of a drive down to the shop and pick some up. So just down here at the shop, just getting our fertilizer bought. Now we did buy these large solid fertilizer bags because they worked out at just over $100 per 1,000 litres. I think when we compared that to some of the other options, it was almost $2,000 for 1,000 litres. So this was certainly the cheapest way to buy our solid fertilizer. I think we will pick up 2 of these in $4,000. Well, it doesn't leave us too much money. Now, just talking to the guys here in the shop, I've got some very good news. They've gone and invested in a forklift. Because as I was driving down here, I thought, how on earth are we going to be able to get these loaded up? I was actually thinking we were going to have to buy bags of fertilizer, handbags, and put them on individually, which would not have been much fun to get a decent amount back down to the farm. So we've got a forklift up here apparently, so let's go and have a look at that, get these couple of bags loaded up, and then get back down. Ted won't be too far away from being finished in that field, I wouldn't have thought. So be able to jump straight into getting some soybeans planted. So here is their new little forklift. It's quite a nice looking one, good colour too, quite like that. And here is our 2 bags of fertilizer, so we should be able to get those lifted up here onto the trailer. Got the bag handler at the farm we can use on our front loader. Fortunately we can put these forks through the eyes there on top of the bag. There's our first one up on top. Rip around here, very carefully poke that through there, don't want to puncture it. Pretty good. And we'll get this lifted up and put on the back of the trailer too. Tip back or else we're going to lose it off the front. Very close. Alright, there we go. That's the 2 bags of fertilizer loaded up. So this was just parked back over here. Guessing that's where it's going to live. We'll leave that there for now. Go get these strapped down and head back down to the yard. Go, 1 strap, 2 strap. Perfect. Right, we'll see you back down at the farm. Just getting back here to the farm. As we go past the field, we'll just take a quick peek. See how Ted's going. Looks like he is just coming back down here to do this last little piece. So that's good. Not too much left to do. So by the time we get back down, get the bag handler on, get this all unloaded. Probably put some fertilizer and seed into the planter. He should be done and we'll be ready to start planting. Alright, so we've got our bag handler on the front of the wheel loader here. We just get pulled up next to this bag. Get in about the right spot. Now we do have to jump out, hop up here and hook it all on. Here we go. It looks pretty secure. Lift that up there. So we keep it nice and vertical. And carefully maneuver it over here, over towards the planter. We'll get some fertilizer put into the hoppers. In fact, there they go, they've detected that in range. The maneuver in between the row guides, we don't want to be knocking those over. We were getting some in. Here it is. Not quite going in the right place visually, but it is getting the planter filled up, which is the key thing. That looks like that is all that is going to take. Bring this over here. In fact, we'll unload them both, but we'll just put this up here out of the way a little bit. Oh, careful. A little bit more cautiously than that. Probably not the best idea to put it right next to the water, but won't not be leaving it just here. Get it unhooked. There we are, and go get the other one taken off. Alright, there we go. We've got that one, and we will come and put this back up in here against the side of the shed. Seemed to be the best place we had to keep them last time. Over here and get that disconnected and moved out of the way. Now we need to go and sort out the pallet forks, and we'll get the first of the seed pallets. In fact, let's spawn that while we're just standing next to here. There we are, we've got 1333 litres, so we should be able to bring up one. No, we're standing in the wrong spot. Need to make sure there's nothing on the trigger. Hopefully the combine isn't. There we are, we can spawn one pallet out now. Still got 400 litres of crop in there, of the corn in there, and that is still processing. So that is our pallet of seed. So let's go and grab the pallet forks, and we'll get that all put into the planter as well. Alright, there we are, we've got the seed picked up, and you'll see we've got a notification down there to tell us that Ted has finished. So we'll in fact we'll wait until we've got that hooked up, because then we can put the seed on from the right side, from behind it, and we'll go and sort him out and tidy up those few little corners. We'll be back down here ready to start planting some soybeans. There we go, we've just run around the field, tidied up a few pieces. There was not actually that much mist at all. It took us a few seconds to get that done. So back down here, we'll get everything disconnected, get hooked up to the planter, and then we'll be back down into that same field planting. Alright, we've got everything out there, we've got that all hooked up, got the seed boxes open, so we should be able to now get back into the wheel loader here. Why couldn't I not hop into it? Because I'm in there. It was having the contractor mod, you can't hop into a vehicle someone else is in, and sometimes you forget about it. So lift this up over here and hopefully into a spot where it wants to empty out into the planter here. Well, we couldn't get it to load manually. I have had to hop it into the tractor here and press the reload, but the intent was to do it as you would normally. So we'll just get those closed down. Get the fertilizer ones closed back down, and we should be able to now lift that up, head on down to the field, make it start. Before we go too much further, I'll remember to change it to soybeans. We would not want to be planting sunflowers in there again. We'll just get that unfolded, turned on, followed down, start making some tracks down here. Should be planting. So let's just take a look at the map. We just take a look here, we can see some dark blue behind us, so we're getting fertilizer down, and you can see some green for soybeans, an olive green, and of course the green there for planting. So that is looking like everything is working a-okay. So I think now, I'm just trying to decide, I think once again we'll let Ted carry on. He's done a great job cultivating, so we'll let him carry on planting here. So we'll get a play course set up and send him on his way again. Alright, there we go, he is off and planting. All looks like it is working as it should, which is fantastic. So we're getting some soybeans planted into here, and that will complement our canola and barley well, and give us a source of income, because we do need to get some things sold and start making some money. I was even contemplating growing a truckload of corn out of the silos and running it to a sell point just to get some money in, but I think we're okay. We've got some options there. We've still got a lot of logs to sell over against the canola field, so I was trying to decide. In fact, I might go over and have a look at that and see if that's something we can do while Ted's doing this. Just take a couple of loads down. I was just worried about whether we could access the logs with the canola planted, whether we were going to have to wait for that field to be harvested. But we'll go take a look at that, and we might go and sell a few more logs. Here at the canola, it's looking mighty fine, very resplendent there in its yellow flowers. And here are all our logs, so I'm just having a look. We've actually got plenty of space there on the back where we can get in and get some unloaded. We might we should be able to manoeuvre in and get them from this end. But even if we just cut through and took a whole heap off this end, could go right across and take a couple of loads off of the right length logs. So I think we'll do that. We'll go and hook the logging trailer up. In fact, we might even try and put it behind the truck and see if we can put some in the back of the truck, which will help us take a few more down in one go. So we'll go and get sorted out. We'll leave Ted with the planting and we'll come down and get some logs sold. We've got the truck and trailer down here. Trailer looks a bit goofy on the back of the truck, on a bit of a slant. The pitch bar on the truck is a little bit high, and we're also going to have to be pretty mindful we don't stack too far forward, or we're going to end up with logs bumping into the back of the truck when we turn a corner, or we're going to end up with logs dragging on the ground. So I'm just going to have to be mindful what length we cut these at. And in fact, I want to try and get maybe down the end here, pointy part, uses a bit of a yardstick for measuring. So I think if we just cut this one out there, let's go that up, go see how that looks for length, and that could be our measuring guide for cutting the rest of them. Alright, that's not a bad guess actually. Really wouldn't want to be any longer. A touch shorter could even work. Now the other thing I want to check is, will these logs go into the back of the truck? Will they sit in? They will go into there. So I have to jump up on the roof here. Might be a problem with the collision. Does look like they're going to fall through. That could be a bit of a problem, because that log is dragging down the bottom there. So we may not be able to put any logs up in the back here. Only way would be is if I can put some across sideways and sit them up on top. But we don't have any straps on it, so that's probably not going to work either. Oh well. We might have to look at getting, I do know that there is a forestry deck for that truck as well, so maybe after we've sold a couple of loads of these we might be able to afford that module and go and get that added on too. Right, let's get to cutting some of these down to length and getting some of them loaded. I've got a few logs cut up. Let's just make sure we've got a good length. I've tested it once or twice, but with the shorter log, putting a big one in here is going to be the main test. That looks pretty good. I want to push the trail over. Double check it's not going to drag on the ground, because that is often a problem we have. That looks okay. So we'll go ahead and get these all loaded up, see if I can get one load at least done. Alright, we've got that strapped on. I think that's probably a decent enough load for now. Probably could have fitted a few more on, but let's just run this down to the sawmill and see what sort of dollars we can get for it. And then we'll have to have a look and see if we can actually get a logging platform for this truck and what it might cost, because in fact I've left a lot of space on that trailer. We could have got 3 or 4 more logs on there. Got 8 logs on the back. Let's see what they all sell for. $4,233. Not bad. Look at that trailer. About dragging on the road now, that hitch on it. I think a logging deck might be a good consideration. Probably get some longer logs up too. Alright, we'll go and pick up one more load, and by then probably find that Ted will need a refill on seed and fertilizer. And once we do that, we'll spend a little bit of time with him with a little bit of a planting montage. I'll just try and sneak one last log on the top of here. It'll be tempting fate as I normally do. But as you can see there, Ted is due a refill as well. So, like I said, by the time we got one more load done, we'd be able to go back and help him do that. And then put together a little bit of a montage with the planting. So, things strapped up here. Here we go. Should be good. Right. We'll run this down to the sawmill, and then we'll come back and sort out the seed and fertilizer. And another load there, $5,316. So that's not bad actually, almost 10 grand. $9,000 or so off those couple of loads. I'm going to go around the sawmill. This truck doesn't have the best turning circle, I've noticed. Quite tight and very difficult to get turned around in one motion down in our yard as well. I struggled to turn around last time back there. But anyhow, we'll head back up to the farm and we will get Ted refilled with seed. I imagine it'll be seed, not fertilizer, and get him back underway. So we're just down here in the planter with Ted. He's made a decent fist of this field already. Probably about almost halfway across, probably not quite. Although you take into account the headlands, might be very close to. 58% fertilizer left though, so we're not using that up too fast, and as I suspected it was the seed. We are going to go close though to having enough seed, because I don't think I've made enough in the mixer to produce another 1,000 litres yet, so we might have to be mindful of that. We'll just whip in here around the corner, up next to these, try and get some fertilizer in. That's filling perfectly. See if we can open the seed ones, get the seed filling too. That is good. Alright, easy done. Right, just turn around, head back down to the field, and we'll make a start again. And like I said, we will put together a little bit of a montage. Won't be too long, because I'm mindful this episode might have stretched out a little bit more than I thought it might have, but going to carry on with the planting. We do want to get this field finished before the end, so let's get back into it. So the last couple of passes here for Ted, and we will be all done planting the soybeans. We only had to refill the planter one time. We actually managed to get all this done with the seed we had, which is good. Means we have plenty of seed left over for the next fields. So we'll just get this turned around. Obviously running course play here still. It's just the last little piece up here in front of us. Once we've got that done, we'll be able to take over and drive back down to the yard. And not long now, there we go, carries our notification. Course play does all the work for us, holding everything up. And getting it all ready to go back down to the farm. So, take over, we'll drive back down to the yard, and we'll wrap things up there for this episode. Well, there we are. All the soybeans are planted in that field, which is good. We've managed to get all the animals fed, taken care of. The noisy boat going past us at the same time while we're trying to have a chat to Ted. And we managed to sell a few logs as well, just to make sure we had some cash in the bank and we weren't running out. I'd like to get a few more of those sold. In fact, there's probably $20,000 or $30,000 at least of wood sitting down there, so we'll have to take a look and see if we can get that logging deck for the back of the truck, if it's worth it. But Ted, thank you very much for your help today. It's a pleasure having you on the farm. I appreciate the cultivating and planting you have done. But for me, I'm going to wrap things up there. Thank you all very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed that episode, and we will catch you in the next one.